I'm Jarrett Hood, that's Dwight.
What up?
You can listen to us on SoundCloud,
Sure
JD
can.
Sports. You can look us up on YouTube, JD Sports Show. Look us up on Facebook. Dwight.
Yep.
We're going to talk about basketball. We're going to talk about some NHL. Excuse me. We're going to talk about the WWE.
Okay.
A little bit of NFL.
So basically, what we talk about every single week.
Yes.
I was just wondering because you say this every single week.
Well,
that's why I was
I like to preview.
That's fair enough. I was really just like, yeah, that is pretty much every single week. Every now and then you get a random golf thing because Tiger, which we're not talking about that now, are we? I'm just saying. Anyway.
Next big one's coming up soon. So we'll talk about that when we get there.
When he's relevant.
In the NBA.
Yeah.
Actually, Dwight, I have bigger news to get to. How was your weekend?
It's pretty good. I was with you most of the time. It's excellent. I was drunk most of the time. The other half of the time. Couldn't be any better.
Coincidence, but I'm wearing blue.
That's such a coincidence. It's not a fucking coincidence.
Having a baby boy, it is a coincidence. How do you think about it? Having
sure?
a baby boy.
That sounds like such a Jarrett Hood move.
Plays Carson Hood.
Hell yeah. Congrats, sir.
We announced it on Saturday, my girlfriend and I. Dwight was there.
Yes, he was.
It was fun.
It was excellent. It was a good time. I'm just glad I don't have to buy a gun, dude. I'm going to save money on that one.
Yeah, so now we're
Raise his son, he can fight his own battles. I appreciate that.
Raising a boy.
I appreciate that a lot. A lot. I don't want to have to fight all boys.
Everyone's telling me it's a good thing because of all the sports that I'm into, so we'll see. I think maybe he'll go the opposite way. Maybe he won't be in sports at all.
Don't say that. Don't
Who
say
knows?
that.
Who knows?
Yeah, because you probably end up with a Tom girl, which could not be a good thing. So
Right.
it's probably for the best. Don't say he's not gonna. He's the. Jared Hood just said his son ain't gonna be into sports. This man is wearing a Phillies thing in May, talking about his son's not gonna be in sports.
So
Okay.
I might every now and then get distracted. Right now the Phillies are playing for first place. We are going to turn it when the Western Conference Finals Game 4 comes on.
Relevant game, something that's actually important.
As of this recording. Speaking of the Western Conference Finals, before Game 4 even starts, Dwight, what is your prediction in Game 4?
Warriors win.
Even without Iguodala.
Yeah.
I have the same exact prediction. That with them going up 3-1.
Yeah. Conveniently, just as we did the show last week, I said they'll get a game, the Rockets, and they proceeded to get a game. Great. And then the Warriors proceeded to do exactly what they are supposed to do.
So I'll admit.
So I was like, all right, yep, there's that one I said they were going to get.
Game 1, Warriors win. We talked about this on the show last week. You and I were talking about how, clearly Golden State, blah, blah, blah.
Still better.
The
Still
next
more
game,
talented. Yep.
20-point, 30-point win by Houston. And I got to thinking to myself, all right, well, maybe pump the brakes. Maybe Houston's that team. Hold on. And then I got to thinking about it, right? And I said to myself, well, what did I say? Kevin Durant lost, 3 times in the playoffs coming into that series. So that's the 4th time. In those 4 losses, 3 of them, 17 or more point losses. They're going to be all right. They win the next game.
By what?
40.
Oh. I was going to say, you didn't even have to go that deep into the whole thought process. You could literally just went, they're the Warriors and they're a better team.
He said, this is my effing house. His mom called him and made him apologize for swearing. So he did.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Why? He's a grown-ass man. He gets to do what the hell he wants
She
to do.
didn't want him to swear on national television.
I'm pretty sure his daughter was swearing. Did you see the clip of her on the
She was yelling up
sideline?
and down, yeah.
She was yelling and screaming. Like, I'm pretty sure she was swearing. Like,
That place goes nuts whenever he does anything.
Because he's a monster.
More,
and he embarrassed James Harden twice.
Absolutely, but more than like KD gets a really good response. Draymond gets a great response. Clay gets a great response. Steph Curry, when he goes off, that third quarter, which was the most impressive third quarter that he's had, the most impressive quarter he's had all playoffs, obviously. He was hurt. So this is the first. And look, people talking about how, it's an excuse when he plays bad, and what about when he plays well? Look, he was legitimately hurt. He didn't play for a while into these playoffs.
Right.
He had a couple of decent games against lesser competition. He got against good competition. The injury showed a little bit, but he found his groove, played a great third quarter, the best third quarter of the series, the best quarter of the series for him. It separated them.
For almost anybody on that court.
It separated them from the Rockets in that game. They win the basketball game. And he was the difference maker, as good as KD is, as good as the rest of those guys that we talked about. I also have them winning Game 4 for that exact reason. Steph Curry, I think, is going to come out, find his groove. I think he did find his groove, and I think as long as he is healthy and he's not nicked up, I think that they become basically obviously impossible to stop. Because, all right, say you figure out a way to get people around Steph Curry, then what? Kevin Durant. So
Klay Thompson.
This is why,
this is the type of
4 of the top 20 players in the NBA right now.
Mm-hmm.
Versus 2.
That's the type of game with Steph.
Versus 2. I mean, that's basically what it is.
And if you don't do it in the playoffs, it's whatever to me. So, I mean, I'm just shrugging that off. I'm just saying. But no, that's the type of game from Steph.
Is that Chris Paul?
Huh?
Are you talking about Chris Paul?
And James Harden, both of them. What you mean?
James Harden had an alright game 1 and 2. Game 3 not as good.
He put 41 in game 1, 27 and 2. He's 20 in game 3. We'll see what
game
he does
3 was
in
low.
4. Which, by the way, game 2 he shot 38%. So he's been on that James Harden playoff decline.
I know 20 sounds like a lot, but at the same time, you want more from James Harden. You want 25 to 30 from James Harden in every single basketball game.
You got 27 game 2, but you shot 38%. That's not okay. That's not good. So yeah, he's on that James Harden.
They won.
I don't care. That doesn't excuse the fact that you play poorly.
I
don't just like that.
Chris Paul sat for
it's
the
like when LeBron puts up a triple double, and it's still like, well, he put up a triple double. I don't care. You can still play poorly and do that.
You definitely point that out. Okay.
So James has definitely been on the decline through those 3 games, but back to Curry. That's the type of game from Steph Curry that I appreciate and I like to see from him. Why? Because I get tired of the whole, it's Kevin Durant or bust. That's how people seem to talk, but it's not.
I mean, you know how I feel about Steph. I think Steph is a top 5 player in the NBA.
He's that team. He has been that team since he got there, and he's going to continue to be that team with or without Kevin Durant.
You remember when he had bad ankles?
It's Kevin Durant's team. It is not Kevin Durant's team. It is Steph Curry's team.
I think it's all 4 of their team. I think it's all 4 of their players' team. I think Steph.
Well, you always got.
I think Steph stood up. But who's taking the last shot? I think either of them.
Steph Curry.
I mean, I wouldn't be against it.
If this man could pull up from my house and make it in freaking
I don't disagree.
And
here's the lucky part. Here's the lucky part for Golden State. Not even lucky. Here's how good they are. They've never gotten that situation where they need to take a last shot. They're beating people by at least 6, 7, 8 points in every game.
Right.
Look, Steph has been the guy. Look, this is the most important part, and it goes back to I heard Dan Le Batard talk about this on an interview a while ago. He wrote an article when LeBron went to Miami about how Dwayne Wade took a step back, right? And Dwayne Wade was okay with the spotlight going away from him because of LeBron, blah 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 blah.
He also slowed down. People seem to forget that.
Okay, agreed. But point being is Chris Bosh coming over, and instead of being a 30-point scorer, he literally went to a team and scored 0 points in a game 7 at one point, like that kind of player. Now that was just a bad game, but at the same time, he was the 3rd player on the team after being the first player, and he could have went anywhere and been max, and instead he took a step back. And Steve Kerr was only an announcer at the time, but he reached out to Dan Le Batard because Dan Le Batard wrote an article about Dwayne Wade. And what Dan Le Batard was talking about in the interview was he thought the funny dynamic was Steph Curry taking a step back and being like, you know what, it's okay it's still going to be my team, but he understands that the limelight is going. Look, people say that Kevin Durant is the number 1 or number 2 player in the NBA. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
And before that, people were saying Steph Curry or LeBron James, right?
I still say that personally.
You still don't think? So you think that Steph Curry's better than Kevin Durant?
I don't buy this whole.
I think Kevin Durant's better than Steph Curry.
And again, that goes back to the argument where I make is that we go with dudes with size and more so say what they do physically instead of what they are able to do on the court. And I disagree. I don't think Steph Curry took a step back. I really don't.
Player, defensive.
Sure.
And that's nothing against Curry.
Sure.
Curry's putting the effort out there every
Durant got that
single
absolutely
time. I'm not trying to take anything away from Steph Curry. It's just Kevin
he's
Durant's taller, longer, more athletic.
It goes back to my point about being physical, which is what people seem to lean on. But this little guy is a freaking monster. And I disagree. I don't think he's taking a step back. Not at all. And this is why I say I appreciate these types of games.
I meant out of the limelight.
Sure, but I think that's media driven more than anything. I don't think that's him.
Not even taking a step back. See, I thought
that's not him.
I think he took a step to the left or to the right. I think he was like, "Hey, look, this patio is big enough for both of us to stand here." And Kevin Durant and Steph Curry, or Steph Curry and Kevin Durant, we are the number 1 and number 2. But look, because at the end of the day,
the entire team did that. Sure,
yeah, agreed. And at the end of the day, if you're gonna say that LeBron James is the best player, you're looking at Kevin Durant and then how many other players before you get to Steph Curry? You know what I mean? Not many. If you're going
0.
Right, so you're looking at it, 2 of the top 3 players, 2 of the top 5 players at most. If you're going to kind of argument, and I'm not going to sit here and argue, I would have them as 2 of the top 3 players as well. I think Steph Curry is on that level.
So is he better than James Harden?
Yes.
Okay, I was just curious.
James Harden does not have the same stroke that Steph Curry healthy.
Right, fair enough.
Steph Curry healthy.
Well, I was literally trying to think off the top of my head the dudes that you would literally just list above him, and he was the only one that came to my thought. No, okay, fair enough.
I love Steph Curry.
Ridiculous.
I love Steph Curry, man.
So do I.
I love Steph Curry.
I love him a lot more than Kevin Durant. So yeah, I think
Kevin Durant's the second best player. But look, you could argue. I'm not against either of them. Honestly, I'm not.
Fine, let's say Kevin Durant is better. Fine,
whatever.
Okay, that's fine. But I enjoy
That's just freaking nature.
I enjoy watching Steph Curry more than I enjoy watching Kevin Durant.
And then you're looking at the Anthony Davises and the Greek freaks and the Joel Embiids and you can start listing off a whole bunch of players that I'm not even going to sit here and figure out how to mention through my head. Donovan Mitchell's on the cuff of that. You know what I'm saying? Those kind of players.
Potentially.
Westbrook. You said Harden. I think Harden's obviously in that top 5 debate.
Yeah, but to me, it's also what you do in the postseason as well. So,
and he has not been anything in the postseason by himself. He was okay with Oklahoma City that year, but then they did not play him much in the last 2 games, at Game 6 and Game 7, and they lost. Game 5 and Game 6, and they lost. They didn't go to Game 7.
So I'm really curious. We're both convinced the Warriors are going to win this series, right?
Yes.
So what's the excuse now?
I don't think there's an excuse. I think that the Golden State is just the best team of all time, if not the second best team of all time.
No. What's the excuse for James Harden folding?
Well, if he folds...
Which he slowly started doing. He could blow up Game 4. I could be completely 1,000%
now,
wrong.
Now, see, here, I don't think he blows up Game 4 because
I'm saying dude's like 0 points. I'm saying, but continue this 20 points on 44%.
I think he gets 25 plus. Does he get 25 plus in Game 4? I think he does.
No.
If he does not, what do you think the excuse is?
And
I don't know what the excuse would be. Well, they're definitely... Yeah, if he doesn't get 25 points, they lose.
That's a problem. There's a narrative on James Harden then. How great is this man?
The reason I don't think they win Game 4 is because the reason that they won Game 2 was even though he scored 27 and Chris Paul scored 20, if I'm not mistaken, in that game, either way, the point was their role players all shot over 50%, and they shot ridiculous from 3. I mean, they had Eric Gordon had 27 in that game. Trevor Ariza had 23 or 25 in that game. I mean, you had 5 players in double digits, 3 or 4 of them with 20 points plus, 2 of them being role players. You don't get that on the road in Golden State, most likely, even if Andre Iguodala is not playing.
And you want that, and you need that, but I'm not...
That happens at home in Game 5, I think, not Game 4. I think Game 4 Golden State wins. I think Harden puts up over 25, though. I think... if he doesn't, look.
Then we need to roast him like we did DeRozan and Lowry then.
All right. And it always seems to be on this level. It seems to be conference finals.
Literally. And he keeps folding. And he's got, he needs help. Okay, you got the help. And you were the number 1 seed this year. And you were so great. And everybody bought into you being that team. So, again, my point is, what's the excuse going to be this time around? He needs more. Okay, now, but who else?
All right.
And it doesn't even have to be a situation where...
Do you think Chris Paul, because this is his first ever conference finals, and he, honestly, over the 3 games, yes or no, good or bad, what would you grade him? I'd grade him a C. I grade him right dead smack in the middle, a C.
Sure, yeah.
Not a C+, not a C-. I'm going a C right there.
So average, yeah. Okay. So again, that's a detriment to him because he too is one of those dudes, and he just has longevity at this point over James Harden.
He's okay. So in the regular season, I'm not talking postseason because obviously postseason he's been injured and he's been very unsuccessful. I'm talking in regular season though. He's been like Hall of Fame type career, but then in the postseason he has not had any kind of success, and his numbers do decline. I mean, this isn't like a Peyton Manning where Peyton Manning some years it declined, some years it was above average and his team didn't do well. Some years he was okay and he won the Super Bowl. Some years he was miserable and he won the Super Bowl for a second one. But for the most part, Peyton Manning at least was getting there, getting through a round or two, playing half decent if not okay. I mean, this guy didn't ever get this far, finally gets this far, didn't ever had great numbers to this point, then gets to this point and has had terrible numbers through the first 3 games. Now, also...
They are the Raptors at this point.
But yes or no... On top of Trevor Ariza, and who else would be the Trevor Ariza? Who else did I say? Eric Gordon, Clint Capella. I mean, like when you start grading, is this a Warriors thing or is this a Houston thing? Because maybe CP3 isn't having a great series because he's got to go up against that Warriors team. He's got to go up against. You know what I mean?
No, we're not. No, we're not. I'm not playing the LeBron factor in this point against. Well, what did they have with them? What were they facing? No, if you personally don't produce and you fold and crumble, a la the Raptors situation and their stars like we got on them, then it is on you. But if they produce and they lose, then yes, it's the Warriors.
So you're saying
but if you don't produce and you lose, then it's on you.
But if he puts up another 30-point plus game or two more 30-point plus games and they lose, James Harden, how do you feel?
That sucks, but
you're okay with him though. You're not mad at him.
Maybe not him personally, no.
What does CP3? What does CP3 have to do? 20 points, 7
Look, I don't care what the exact numbers are. Point being, those two need to produce. What those numbers are, I don't know.
Do you think they win either the next 2 games?
Putting up 20 points on 44% shooting is not acceptable.
What about just winning? What about just winning either of the next 2 games, even if they have bad numbers?
What is all these hypotheticals? Yeah, you want to still put up good numbers, but if you win, nobody cares.
Do you think they win?
No.
You think they lose the next 2?
But they need to produce.
I think
have some balls out there.
They can win one of the next 2. I don't think they do.
DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry, we roasted these dudes for not producing, but now because they're in the West and they're a much better team, mind you, than the Raptors, and they're facing a much better team, I'll give you that. But just because of that, there's no excuse to give them a pass. No, James Harden has had this history that's been building. Now you got CP3. CP3 can't seem to get past this round and always seems to crumble out of the Clippers. There's no reason to keep giving these dudes passes. That's why I'm asking, what the hell is it going to be an excuse? Well, it's just Golden State. James Harden put up 41 in Game 1. What was the excuse?
They lost by 10.
Okay. James Harden put up 41, though. That's what you're supposed to do.
But he put up 27 in Game 2, had a bad shooting night, and they won.
Okay. What's the point?
Maybe he should pass off a little more. Less ISOs just to him.
When you're a star, I need you to produce. You put up 27, though, and you win. Okay, you just had a shitty percentage.
He had a lot from the line, right?
Sure. Obviously, he only shot 9. He only made 9 shots, but he put up 27. 27 is still good.
Yeah, it's a good night.
That tells me, then the rest of the team were making shots. Cool. Not a problem. When you are the star, I don't need to see you go from 41 to 27 to 20.
Steph Curry had a horrible game, too. Not a great game 1 until the second half.
This man had 18, 16, and 35, Steph Curry, through 3 games.
Right.
Which is abysmal.
10 of the 18 came in the second half of the Game 1.
But guess what? He had Durant, who had 37, 38, then 25.
Right.
So, Rockets, who's stepping up?
Most consistent player out there for either team.
Who's stepping up for the Warriors? For the Rockets.
So that's what I'm trying to say to you is, so when I try to break it down to, is it just a Golden State thing? Because if you go player for player here, right? Let's go. Who's the top player? Let's go Steph Curry or James Harden. Who are you taking?
Steph Curry.
Okay.
That's me personally. Most people would say James Harden.
All right, well then let's find Kevin Durant or James Harden. Most people would say who?
Durant.
Okay, and then CP3 or Steph Curry?
Steph.
Okay, Klay Thompson or Clint Capella?
Well, what I would say, I don't know. Well,
it's not even close. Everybody would say Klay.
People disrespect Klay. I don't know.
I'd say Klay. Okay, and then Draymond Green versus who would be the 4? Eric Gordon.
We all know the Warriors have a much better team. That's beyond the point.
Okay,
it's
but they're so much better. Is my point is that no matter what you do, if you put up 27 in a bad shooting night and you win, like great. But if you put up 20,
no. No. Do something. Go out swinging. Raptors. Again, I'm going to keep going back to this Raptors situation. Those stars crumbled and didn't do shit. And they faced a much weaker team. So obviously it's worse on the Raptors situation. But you still can't go out there. I don't care how much better you are than me. Go out there. Have some balls. Have some conviction. Go out there and do something. Try. That's not saying that, well, the Warriors clearly just shut them down. No, these dudes literally, when you shoot 7 of 16, 9 of 24, that's you, homie. What is your problem? And that's just his numbers. I didn't look up CP3 numbers, and if I didn't know we would have analyzed this like we are, I'd have really looked at all of those numbers, sure.
He had a horrible game 2, and they won. Didn't have a great game 3 either.
Well, damn, I would love to see the Warriors numbers then. If the Warriors did that, they must have done poorly then on game 2, huh? But the Rockets are supposed to be so amazing.
Highest efficiency in the history of basketball. I'm with you. We've talked about this both. We both agree that they're only going to win. It's going to be in 5 or 6.
It's literally, again.
You think it's going to be in 5, right?
Yeah. It's literally the Raptors thing to me. As long as you go out swinging, then cool. You can't fault that, and I would have fought that. But if you're just going to take this L now moving forward, if they do, then that's a problem.
If it's not like a close game in either of the next 2 games.
Right. And your stars don't produce. This is the time. And especially when you're James Harden and CP3, dudes who have a history of not producing when it's time to produce. Didn't James Harden last year or the year before put up no points? I don't remember. He put up a really...
4
points.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like an elimination game or the second?
Yeah, it was the elimination game against the Spurs in the game before the Western Conference Finals.
So if it's another elimination game, he puts up 4 points.
27.
If he puts up another 4 points in an elimination game, is it on the Warriors or him? Must be on him at that point.
That'll be on him, yes. 100%.
We're going to see. We're going to see. But there's no reason to give that man a pass. Or them a pass. I don't care who they're facing. Have some balls out here. The Celtics are out here balling against the damn Cavaliers when they seem to want to. So what's the excuse? And he's supposed to be the king and best player in the world. So whatever. It means nothing to me.
Dwight. On to the Eastern Conference.
Yep.
The unlucky part of us doing the show weekly and not a couple times throughout the week is
one time live.
We don't get to get our opinions out in the middle of series always, which just sometimes
it's gonna end. Whatever.
On Friday, going into Saturday, the big topic was LeBron James would rather lose in the Eastern Conference Finals than the Finals.
You said that. Oh, I can't stand you.
Colin Cowherd said it. Stephen A. Smith said it.
I can't stand you sometimes.
What?
Go on, continue. So, they're on a game-by-game basis. You make statements according by game. What's wrong with that? You got so tight about those statements. Okay, so they weren't necessarily wrong. Would you rather lose now or lose later? Right.
LeBron James would just rather not lose.
Well, obviously, but legacy-wise, we always talk about his record. Do we really want to put another L in his finals record? Or we would just say he lost in the round before.
I don't think LeBron James is worried about that at the moment. I think LeBron James is worried about trying to win.
Way too deep on every single thing anybody says about LeBron James.
Because they go way too deep on everything with LeBron James. So of course I'm going to analyze.
Right, because they go game to game.
Yes or no?
No, it's not a horrible statement. They're not necessarily wrong with that.
And I knew they were going to go into Cleveland because the conversation I kept having with everybody was, until somebody loses at home, the series will not start. Because Boston is horrible on the road. And Cleveland's very good at home. And I thought that all it takes is Cleveland to win one on the road, but Cleveland has to win one on the road. I have Cleveland winning the series, but that just takes them winning one on the road. I think they need to win Game 5, not Game 7, but that's neither here nor there. They have to win just one of those two.
What does that have to do with the statement of he'd rather lose, if he's going to lose a series, lose this series than the next series? That has nothing to do with that.
Because they were saying that he was just going to lose this series, that was the point. That he was just going to He was just all right, like,
That's-
and
that
like
was
he
not
wasn't
the
out here
point,
just
dude.
telling them
That
to.
was not
I just don't think LeBron was out here telling them to just like, all right, well, Kyle Korver, miss all your shots, or J.R. Smith, miss all your shots.
You way
Let's push out
overanalyzed that.
Al Horford. Even though I scored 21 of our team's first 25 points, and I scored 25 in the first quarter. Don't worry, guys. Go out there and just see if we can blow a big lead, and let's not try to win because I'd rather lose in this round than the next round.
At all what they were saying, and you know damn well as a logically thinking person that was not what they were saying. You stop over analyzing everything that anybody says critically about LeBron. It's okay to criticize this man.
It's
mind
okay
you.
to criticize.
And mind you,
how is that criticizing him though? Like what is
it
that?
wasn't though. It was just an opinion of saying they feel like he would rather lose now than lose later. What is wrong with saying that? What did they start? What was wrong about that?
Because that would be implying that he's going to just try to lose this round and not.
That's not implying. That's your opinion. They didn't say he's clearly doing that. That's what he's doing. Like you're implying that they're saying. They're literally saying it's better for him to lose now than later. It's just what they're saying.
The whole point of the conversation was dumb to me because I think LeBron
James
would just rather not lose. At the end of the day, I think when you're talking about it, LeBron James would just rather not
Guess what? You
lose.
just said going day to day, game to game. Guess what we would be doing? Having dumbass conversations like that.
Yeah, but I would literally be like, that's so stupid because LeBron James would just rather not lose. Like, he's not worried about this. Speaking of.
Can you just, like...
What do you think happens here? It turns into a 3-game shootout, 2 games in Boston, 1 in Cleveland, first to win 2.
I'm afraid to say anything now because it's going to be misconstrued and manipulated and destroyed.
Boston's been super efficient at home. They played very well. Role players, and for the most part, that's what we talked about with the Houston playing role players playing so well at home. Role players play well at home for the most part, and role players play bad on the road. And look at the role players of the Cavaliers playing horrible on the road in Boston these first 2 games. They did not play well on the road in Indiana a couple times. Remember Game 6, they got blown out by, 30 points. Because their role players just... Remember that was the Kevin Love got destroyed in the media there for the next day or two over his poor play for the whole series, but particularly that Game 6. Yeah, absolutely. But my point is role players on the road are not as good as they are at home. So now we flip-flop back to Boston here. Game 5, Game 6 back in Cleveland, Game 7 in Boston if necessary. What do you think? Where do you think the series goes from here?
I'm not waning from the Cavaliers winning this. Boston does deserve a hell of a lot of credit.
Absolutely.
I'll give them that.
Especially for the way they played at home in those first 2 games. Those were
absolutely
super impressive.
Sure.
Coming back the way they did in the second one.
They still have that potential to win this series. And it's not going to surprise me. I don't know what the real Cavaliers are at this point. We know who the hell LeBron James is at this point. Whatever. It's literally the rest of the team.
J.R. Smith going 0 in Game 2.
Which probably was the point of everybody, all these reporters that you're mad at, because LeBron's been producing every single game. That doesn't mean that he wants to lose. It was just saying that it might be preferable to lose than in the finals. When you get tired of hearing the Jordan thing, maybe. LeBron's been producing. Nobody's been shitting on LeBron not producing in these playoffs or this series especially. He's been the only person that's been trying out there. Sure, consistently. But the story's going to come back to, like you said, the rest of the damn team. And I don't like that team.
With both teams.
I would trust Boston more.
Right now, because they're younger, they have 2 home games.
Not even. They're younger, but they've been more consistent this entire playoffs.
I think that
Cleveland's been inconsistent as hell. They could have lost the last third. They could have lost to Indiana.
This is going to be as desperation mode in a tie series that you're ever going to see LeBron James look in a game, because I don't think he wants to go back there to play Game 7. The way they played Game 1 and 2 in Boston,
because they're not winning that one.
In Game 5, you don't think they're winning Game 5?
No, if they get to a 7, they're not winning.
Right, so you want to win Game 5 so that when you get to Game 6 at home, you have a chance to clean up the series right then and there. I think that's a potential chance of happening, and I have the Cavaliers winning the series. Man, I'd be so interested in a Game 7, though.
I'd be interested in a tight game. Like, can we get a close game out of any of these
There's
series?
been one game in the entire
I'm not gonna lie to
conference
you.
finals both ways that has been in 10 points, and it was the last Celtics and Cleveland game, and that was a 14-point game with 2 minutes to go. It just happened to end up with a 9.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I think I've seen out of both those series, I saw one game in full because either one was too
It
late
was
because of
blowing
work,
each other out,
or
yeah.
right. Then it just becomes disinterested
Blowing
at
each other
some
out.
point and just like skim back and forth. Yeah, can we get that though? Like, what's going on with that situation? Is Cleveland that good? Is the Golden State that good? Whatever the narrative anybody wants to paint.
So-
Can we just get some tight games at this point? Like usually, you want to we clown like the first round or maybe the second round. Okay, it gets a little tighter. The third round. Okay, now it's like these are supposed to be the top 4 teams.
Mm-hmm.
Why does it seem like
Isn't the West
It's
supposed to
not.
be the quote-unquote finals?
yeah?
And that's just all 3 games have been blowouts.
All 3 of them,
10
even by
point
the
game.
team that's supposed
The
to be
first-
amazing and the best ever.
The first game was
Got
great.
blown out.
The first game was great until about 2 minutes in the third quarter.
Right.
Second game was about a 10-point game until about, I don't know, halfway through the third quarter, and then it ended up being back to a 20-point game by the middle of the fourth quarter. And then the third game was a 20-point game before halftime.
Right, they've all been blowouts. So I don't know. If Cleveland does go 7, damn, that's that's cool. I'm good with that. But can we just get them a little closer at least? Can we get them a little closer at least? At that point, I wouldn't even I don't even care who wins the damn series. Like, can we just get some tight games? Like, it's been crappy. That this round has been pretty shitty in my opinion.
Both in the Western
both.
and the Eastern.
Both. We've had more entertaining series earlier on. The 76ers, damn near every single one of their games were tight and entertaining, and I watched the majority of those in full because they were all good.
Games, right.
The majority
Are
of
you
them.
going to watch the finals? I mean, I think Golden State's going to blow either of these 2 teams out.
I'm going to watch the finals so we can get some games out of them, yeah. Otherwise, I will legit do the same thing where it's like, yeah, I'm going to tune in and see what happens, but if it starts doing this blowout thing, then no, what the hell? I'm not going to stay up for or keep watching for. I'm not going to watch a blowout for the duration. Hell no. It's just a waste of my time. I got other shit to do.
So I got
We're adults. We got other shit to do.
some close games to talk about, closer games to talk about in a different sport, unless you have more to talk about with the NBA.
No. We about to talk about a sport I just need to start watching, apparently, because all they do is go to Game 7s
The
and overtimes
NHL,
and-
man.
It's freaking ridiculous. Sometimes I do wish I gave a shit about hockey.
We're going to talk about the Eastern Conference Finals here in a second, but the Western Conference Finals was the Winnipeg Jets and the Las Vegas Knights.
Is that the one that went 7?
No.
Oh.
That one went 5 games. The Las Vegas Knights won. They went through 3 rounds. They lost 3 games. They are in the Stanley Cup Finals. They are awaiting the winner of the Tampa Bay Lightning and Washington Capitals, who the winner of that will go to the Stanley Cup. And we talked about last time on here that the Washington Capitals were up 2-0 in Tampa Bay going to Washington. Had a chance to put a grip on that series and make it 3-0. They ended up losing the next 3 games to go down 3-2.
So hockey. That
So
would never happen
you
in
get
basketball,
to Game
ever.
6
Ever.
in Washington. Game 6, the series on the line, and they win 3-0. They have the game of their life. They played so desperate. It was such a fun game to watch, so I watched it. I was going back and forth between that and the basketball game. They were in. The Phillies are in a series right now with the Atlanta Braves for first place. Shout out to the Phillies. So I was like super just going between. I mean, I loved it. So I was super sports on Monday night. But here we are on Tuesday night. I'm pretty sure Game 7 is Wednesday in Tampa Bay.
Is it Wednesday? All right.
Washington. So Game 6 is.
I guess it would because basketball's probably going on a break now. Then
Game 6 is.
for like 6 weeks.
No, they played 3 games in a row for. It's weird.
We've shitted on the NBA scheduling and the playoff situation.
And they
before.
got so now it's Game 3, 1 day off. Game 4, 1 day off. Game 5, 1 day off. 2 days off. Game 6, 1 day off. Game 7 in the NBA now.
NBA gets my nerves.
Anyways,
Anyway.
so hockey though, the Washington Capitals are 10-3, or no, they are 7-3. I'm sorry, 7-3 in the 10 games that they played. Game 6 is down 3-2 in the Ovechkin era. They are 2-6 going into this game. So
Wait, how many game 6s has he had in his career?
down 3-2, 10.
Jesus.
He's won 7 of them.
I don't know if I should be impressed by that or be.
But they've
weirded
lost
out
by
the
so
fact
many
that
game 7s, and
Okay.
they've lost all the game 7s except for 3 of them, or 2 of them.
But he's. Oh, Jesus.
Crazy, right?
That's a lot of game 6s and 7s to be in.
So in 7 of them, it was 2, and he's 2, and in 6 of them, he's 2 and 4. So this will be his 7th one because they just won their 7th one. Yeah, 2 and 4 in game 7s that they've come back in. In game 7s,
I'm just more so
game 7s
saying,
overall, he's 7 and or I mean, he's 7 and what 6 or 7 and 9 or something. I forget.
it's
I don't know
redundant. It's nobody cares. I'm
Not good,
just
though,
like
because they lose a lot overall.
I'm just like, damn, because I literally just. Well, obviously I'm more of an NBA guy, but. That's
It's
good.
fun.
That's definitely good for hockey.
Swings.
That's good for hockey and playoff hockey,
I got it.
especially because you will get those game 6s, you get those game 7s. It's more entertaining. It's more fun that way, especially for fans. I'm sure. I wish the NBA would be better
That
at
is
that.
fun. Yes, I got a question for you.
Sure.
Do you think, and I gotta have to probably put it in the NBA terms, we just put on the NBA game. I'm gonna have to
Said that
probably
like I'm slow.
put it in the NBA term. No, because do you think that the Vegas Knights are good for hockey? Expansion team, and I look at it this way.
Yeah, right.
This would be an NBA team coming into Vegas, right, and taking. So you get to basically all you get to do is lock up 4 guys on your roster, right, and then the rest of your roster is free for the pickings, and you get to pick 2 players off of each of your teams. So let's say let's say the Warriors right now, right? The Warriors would lock up. Obviously, Clay, Draymond, Steph, and KD, and then you would look at the Sixers right now. They would probably lock up, I don't know,
Embiid.
Ben, Embiid, Fultz, and Dario. To be honest with you, and like honestly, and that would probably be it. And then the rest of them would be for the picking.
Right.
So you see what I'm saying? The Boston would Tatum, what's his name? Kyrie.
I'm hearing you. Okay, move along.
Okay, so if they came in and then next thing you know, they dominate the whole way through. No superstar, no Kevin Durant, no superstar, no I don't even know, not even a Damian Lillard. You know what I'm talking about?
Sure.
No
Okay.
superstar.
What's the question?
They get the whole way to the NBA Finals. They dominate their way through the playoffs. 3 losses, 1 loss in each round.
Right. If this is the NBA, how would I feel about it? Is that what you're getting at?
Would it be bad for the NBA?
Yes.
So you think-
It'd be kind of, I guess it'd be kind of neat, I guess is a word for it, or interesting. But
Steph already drained the 3 on the corner.
I know, that's why I did this earlier, bro.
Crushed it.
It would be neat, again, like I said, it's a
already
word
been
for it, but
season.
it would be,
It's about 6 o'clock out there.
bruh, I can't deal with this man. This man can't. We can't watch basketball, apparently. This man's doing comments. Anyway, I don't remember what the hell I was saying. It'd be interesting, I guess. But, no, I'd probably be shitting on every other team in the playoffs because that is kind of embarrassing.
The reason that
was not more than kind of. I mean, it's different, I guess, for hockey. But if it was basketball, you want to talk about...
Do you think it's bad for hockey?
That's what I'm saying. I guess it's different. I don't know. Is it different for hockey people? I don't really watch
So,
hockey.
I
But
think-
if this was basketball, I would be shitting all over it because
Look, if they win the Stanley
that's
Cup,
pretty embarrassing. That's
if-
very embarrassing.
if they
If
win
the
the-
Charlotte Bobcats come out here and do that, that's kind of embarrassing to me.
if they win the Stanley Cup, I will be.
Saying we need to get a new expansion team in Philadelphia?
I'll be a little upset because as a Flyers fan, I've been dealing with this. I've been watching this my entire life, and I have not. I've seen them in a couple cups, but I've never seen them win the Stanley Cup.
There's the process. Let's just start all over and go to a new city.
Let's put it this way: there's a whole.
That's a whole nother trust the process.
So, Canada has 7 teams, right? Canada has 7 teams. They haven't had a team in the Stanley Cup in 17 years. They haven't had a team win the Stanley Cup in almost 30 years. The whole country, Dwight.
Yeah, that's kind of wild. That's kind of...
The Toronto Maple Leafs have not
Okay,
won the Stanley Cup since 1980 something, right? They are the most historical franchise in hockey. They haven't won the Stanley Cup since well before I was born. They are worse than the Notre Dame of hockey. They're 10 times worse because they haven't
That's
even
probably indictment on all those shitty teams and franchises.
I'm not disagreeing, but my point is
it's
like
not a good look.
right. And
No, it's not
so
good.
from a fan's perspective, as somebody who loves a team,
Are you pissed
who,
off?
I mean, I'm not pissed off, but it's frustrating. It's frustrating, and the only reason it happened.
Are you pissed off?
I'm not pissed off. I'm rooting for them.
So then you're going to be pissed off at the Flyers then?
Yeah, I'm angry at the organization for sure. I'm very mad at watching. I'm looking at the organization saying literally the Flyers. The one thing the Flyers have not had since Ron Hextall, who is now their GM 20 years later, is a goalie. Right? Guess what? The Las Vegas Knights have. A goalie, literally. The goalie who won the Stanley Cup just 3 years ago, who is literally going to most likely have them have the best chance at winning a Stanley Cup. That's what's making them so good. They found a bunch of guys who can score a couple goals, got a bunch of good defensive guys, and got a guy who's very experienced in the playoffs. And as we've talked about in the NBA, it's very true in the NHL as well. Get a goalie who's experienced. And
right, you need that.
The most important position in hockey, if not sports, it's the second most important position in sports. If you want to say the quarterback is, that's fine. Whatever you want to debate. Either way, it is up there. And
top 2, top 3.
He's without question. He just won a Stanley Cup 2 years ago, and then last year he was the backup for the guy who won the Stanley Cup. And the only reason he was the backup is because he got hurt, and he had 2 shutouts in the Stanley Cup playoffs last year before he got hurt.
So it's him. It's the GOAT. He's the GOAT.
No, he's just very good.
No, he's the GOAT.
But the problem for the Flyers is that they never found a goalie since Ron Hextall. And here I am watching a team literally just draft a bunch of players, and one of their last picks was Marc-Andre Fleury.
So this is the real trusted process then.
Didn't even have trusted process.
No, this is the real trusted process. This is the
bump your
team, root for the team down the street that just moved in.
So like it would, I guess the best way to equate it for you, because the Lakers have some championships, it'd be like the Texans winning a Super Bowl next year. Would you be mad as a Cowboys fan?
Lakers to the Texans.
Because you haven't seen the Cowboys since we were a kid hoist the championship. So I'm trying to just what would it be the worst
at this point? I guess
right.
I'd be annoyed.
It'd be frustrating, yeah. Or like a team just coming in next year that not.
I mean,
the Texans.
if the Texans did their first damn year, then I wouldn't
you'd be
pissed off.
right? All right, that's my point.
Well,
yeah,
definitely.
A team comes in next year. The London whoever's come in next year. They win the Super Bowl. Are you mad?
He said the London whatevers. No, I'm happy for that, because that would just prove my point of saying there's no parity in the NFL. It's just trash in the NFL. I appreciate that because I'm petty.
But so game 7.
I'd be annoyed. I'd be pretty.
I'm gonna watch Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals, and like I said, as much I like Ovechkin, and I'm not against Ovechkin winning the Stanley Cup. I really like Stamkos, and I like Lightning, so I'm not against them winning the Stanley Cup either. But yeah, I'm rooting for the Golden Knights. I love the story, man. I do love the story. 500-1 odds. I'm a betting guy, so I love things that go against betting.
I'm just going to laugh every time you mention betting now, because there were so many times in the history of the show he wanted to but couldn't, but now he can. It's
now
funny.
I can.
There was literally a point when I used to really edit this shit hardcore.
Because we were
year
literally,
one,
I was literally saying lines at one point, -6.
You know how long it used to take me to
5.
edit them damn shows?
Because I was legitimately...
No, because I actually pretended I gave a shit.
You did.
Right. No, I don't.
But
all this swearing out to cut out.
Also, I used to be -5. I used to be -5 on the Bears, and I would be like, I took that team and I won.
And you would be like, edit that out. And
yeah.
I'd be like, bro. And now he just throws it out, just like, yeah, I'm a betting man. Now he just says it with pride and conviction and with some hair on his chest. He says it. Speaking of trash, real quick. Did you see your boy Johnny Manziel?
I was going to talk about that. He's at the end. I had him written down at the end.
That makes me happy, because I literally just thought of that.
So let's talk about him really fast.
Speaking of trash.
I mean...
Alright, defend your boy.
I was going to say, Dwight is going to be upset with him. But here's my thing.
What do you mean upset with him? What are you going about to talk about?
I'm glad that he does not have a chance in the NFL. I'm very glad that he had to sign a 2-year deal with the CFL to go play in the CFL. I'm glad that he has a chance to go play football somewhere and prove that he may or may not be able to do it, because... Look, he was not Cam Newton, he was not Tim Tebow, he was not Reggie Bush, but he was one of the most fun players I've ever watched on a college football field. And I was rooting for this man, and I thought he had a pretty decent NFL career, except he couldn't get it together off the field, obviously. That's what took him out of football. So I would love to see him excel in the CFL.
We know. What's the point that you're getting at? What was I going to be mad at? Because I feel like either I don't know
something. You said defend your boy.
Either I don't know. Was that it? Because you thought I was going to shit on him because he's in the CFL?
Yeah.
No. You got me all wrong.
Oh, I'm happy he's in the CFL.
No, Mazel. Good for you. Because he's garbage. I'm cool with that.
I don't want to see him in the NFL.
That's exactly where I think he... Okay, cool. That's
he needed to go to the CFL.
No. I mean, in part, it was the CFL thing. But no, that was the main thing. No.
What you were gonna do?
I saw. Did you see? I don't know if you saw, but I saw something. I don't know if it's true or not. That he might not even be the starter in the CFL team. The coach. I saw a thing where it was saying that the coach might not be the starter, and I laughed really hard.
He didn't
I was
even.
like, that's Johnny Manziel.
He just arrived up there, I think today or yesterday. So like,
it's been more than today or yesterday.
He just signed with them on Saturday or Sunday.
Like 2 or 3 days ago.
He signed with them on Saturday or Sunday.
Anyway, like I said, I don't know if it's true or not, but I saw something. I don't care that he went to CFL. He's garbage. He belongs in the CFL. But I thought it was funnier that I heard. It might be wrong. I might be full of shit, but it might be just a meme. I don't fucking know. But I saw something that said that the coach is claiming he might not even start, which is.
So I have a question for you, Dwight. They're changing some NFL rules.
Are you not allowed to throw money in signs anymore?
You can.
No. That's good.
They're changing some NFL rules.
As long as you're not garbage. Are they?
One of them, on the kickoff, if you wave your arm, like a fair catch, you get the ball to 25. The other one is you can't start running until the ball is kicked off.
Wait, time out. You can wave a fair catch no matter where you're at. It's going to go to the 25? How much leeway do you have?
Maybe that's just in college. Maybe that's not in the NFL yet. I'll have to look that up. They're talking about putting that in the NFL. I'm not 100% sure. Anyways, the other NFL one was stopping. You're not allowed to.
That's really stupid and bullshit. What if the ball's on like the 10-yard line and you're calling a fair cut? That's bullshit. Okay, I hope that's not true. Okay?
The other one is you're not allowed to move until the kicker kicks the ball off. As the kicking team.
The kicking team is not allowed to move until the kicker kicks the ball off.
Eventually, as I talked about, they're going to get rid of the kickoff.
And he also said what? They said there needs to be 5 men on each side of the kickoff.
Yep, you can't.
To eliminate
bad onside kicks.
So any trickery, any fun.
Anything is gone.
Basically, the wording I read was to avoid any type of schemes, even on the receiving side of the ball. So basically So
they don't overload one side.
So that you... What? So that you can't get past, what, the 30-yard line anymore when you're... Well, clearly at this point, I mean, if the kicking team can't even move, can the receiving team move? I didn't see anything about the receiving team not moving, not being able to move. I mean,
they never could be able to move until the ball was kicked off.
So they never were able to move.
Until the ball was touched.
So what now I'm just gonna be over dramatic. So now what the receivers is gonna make it to what, the 30 to 40 every single time now? 35 every single time now?
Maybe out a little further. Maybe it's to get I think that would make injuries worse, yeah, but aren't they moving the kickoff up
to make it safer?
Yeah, they're making it so you kick the ball out more.
Why is the NFL sugarcoating this situation? Why don't if you go take
it out.
I will hate if they take it out.
But just do it.
I promise you, I'm gonna bitch just as much, if not harder.
But just do it.
But if you're just gonna keep tiptoeing around this issue and talk about player safety and talk about how you don't want to do this, you want to minimize that, and everything else, but you're pretty much just gonna tiptoe around it without just eliminating it like they want to. No kidding. But if you're just gonna keep playing this and just not doing it, then you look foolish and stupid. Then what the hell is the purpose of the kickoff then? If you're literally saying the point is to minimize schemes on this end and that end, then are we gonna see any kickoffs, any touchdowns off a kickoff anymore?
No. Probably not. Very few.
Is anybody gonna get past the 30 to 40 yard line at this point?
Maybe.
Is this just the evolution of the kick returner? We're just going to have to see somebody adapt and just do amazingly well at this point? Because otherwise they should just get rid of it. Then just get rid of it. If you're just going to keep dumbing us down and keep... let me not say what I was going to say. If you're just going to keep softening, let's say, this situation...
Making it worse.
Then just fucking get rid of it.
Okay.
Because they literally, at this point, have done everything, every single year.
They're just trying to make this as minimal as possible.
Because it seemed like they're just scared at this point to get rid of it.
So Dwight?
Which, I don't know why you said but Dwight, but anyway, which, at that point, like I said, if you're just going to keep doing this shit, then fucking get rid of it.
I was going to ask, so where do you think that punts will eventually go to as well?
That's something I wouldn't be cool with going away. I fucking hate punts, but... What else are you going to do at that point? What else are you gonna do?
So what is it every time that you would want to get rid of the ball, the other team gets it, what,
so
after
ridiculous.
25?
That would be so ridiculous.
Even if you don't move the ball outside of your own 25?
What if you call a fair catch? Would it be different? That'd be so bad. Man, this will be a lot of kickers and punters out of jobs if that's the case, then. Or they gonna be on the cheap. Okay, whatever.
One last topic.
Sure.
2 topics with WWE you want to talk about. I think I know about one of them, but
Sure, you know about one of them.
I do.
Okay, so apparently it's a real thing. I sent it to you, but apparently
I saw
it's
somewhere.
coming into a real thing.
Yep.
WWE's signing a new deal with Fox.
A pretty big one.
5 years.
For SmackDown.
Right, yeah. SmackDown, gotta clarify. The B show, but whatever.
That's okay.
5 years. $1 billion.
Think they're going to get a little edgy?
No. And that has been my hope ever since it's been said that these contracts were coming up this year. That's kind of been my hope. Not even like, we're never going to get Attitude ever again. We're never going to have 97, 98, 99 WWE ever again. Now, we're not even going to have 10 years ago WWE. We're never going to get it. They're too PG. Case in point, Fox is willing to pay these people $1 billion over 5 years when they went from averaging 6-7 million viewers a week to now they're in the 2 or 3s, which apparently is still amazing, especially in a dwindling viewership market. So networks are scrambling. So you know what? In that sense, I don't fault Fox per se because that's probably gonna be the highest rated show every single week.
Other than football.
Right. But as far as weekly all year programming, easy. That's an easy move on that point. Part of me was hoping, maybe they just tone up just a notch, just a little bit.
You
know why they're
not? At all?
No. And the article that I sent you, I was reading through it. They're claiming, I don't know if it's true or not, but they're claiming that somebody, a representative from Fox, is basically saying, and this was a weird quote. They could get roasted on that, but I'm not even going there. They said they're trying to get away from urban-y.
Oh, okay.
Right. Because you know how Fox is pretty much, since its conception has been...
The best.
No. Has been...
Make America great again.
No. Since Fox, Fox, 90s Fox, since it started, was always that edgy network, the one that was like for people that want to deal with ABC, NBC, CBS. Simpsons, Martin, Married with Children, right? That market. Family Guy.
Yeah.
That market, right? The not so...
But they're not going to do that with wrestling.
It's not even that. Apparently, according to that article, they want to get themselves away from that altogether. They want to be more like the other networks and be more... I forget the exact quote. They didn't say modern. They want to be more...
Suburban?
No, that's not the exact quote. It was basically like... Essentially, yes. I'd have to bring it up and show you. Essentially, they want to be like more of that market. Which I was sitting there thinking, well, it's 2018. You were already there. You haven't been edgy in like 15 years, but whatever. They were still... Cops is there. You know, America's Most Wanted. They had the edgier stuff.
Yeah, I understand.
Historically. Well, apparently they don't want to do that anymore. So, the fact that WWE's coming in, I'm like, well, they want to be Disney, so it makes sense to me. No, they're not going to change.
Alright. So what's the other thing?
Oh, you know how we always shit on the pay-per-view situation?
Yes.
And how long they are? Well, I saw a thing this morning, and I kept reading about it. Actually, I think I saw some yesterday, but whatever, it's redundant. The headline just kept saying WWE changing pay-per-view length. And I was like, I got excited. I was like, oh shit, are we going to stop these 5-6 hour pay-per-views?
Making them more.
Are we going to stop these, 4 or 5 hours, whatever the hell? Right, yeah. You know exactly what I want to say. They want every pay-per-view, even ones that don't mean anything, to be 4 hours long.
Yeah. Why?
I don't know why you just said yeah, even sarcastically. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Why?
Don't know.
They didn't make any reason?
Don't know. No.
Alright, go WWE.
No particular reason. Are you fucking kidding me? So how long are the damn... Okay, so how long are these damn other 4 pay-per-views going to be that are already 5 hours long? Are they going to be 8 hours long? 6 hours long? Are they going to go up an hour?
Mania, yes.
Mania's already over. Mania's already from 7 to 11. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 4. They always go past that, so 5. They always go past midnight, so 5. What is it going to be now? Is it going to be 6? Is it going to start at 6?
Yes.
Like the main show at 6 o'clock? Who has time for this shit? Who is watching this shit?
Vince.
Vince is 80. I don't know how old he is. He's an old ass man. He ain't watching this shit.
He is.
No, he's not. Who is watching this shit?
He thinks somebody is, in his mind.
You know why they're doing this shit? Because fucking people like Fox Network want to pay $1 billion because Snickers wants to hand them money. This is why WWE's in the shape that it's in. This is why they can say, well, we're making more money than even the Attitude Era, and everybody wants to say how. Because these asshole advertisers want to keep handing them money. No matter what they do, it doesn't matter. They still get 2-3 million views. That's more than anybody other than the NFL and basketball, like, actual sports. That's more than all those. This is why, because right, they want to keep throwing money their way because that's still producing. You're not doing what you did as far as 5 and 6s every week.
Did you watch them?
You're still making $2 million. I've been watching wrestling since fucking Mania, dude.
Oh, okay.
Since the greatest of Royal Rumble, because 1, we do a show every Tuesday. 2, it's that time of year where I don't give a shit about wrestling. Because it gets slow, things get stupid, things get repetitive.
Well,
I will start watching if we keep doing a show on Wednesdays and SmackDown goes to Fridays. Like, apparently they're going back to Fridays, which is a whole nother issue, but whatever.
Well, you know the show's on Wednesdays.
I don't know what we're going to do, but yeah, so a whole lot of what the fuck from WWE. I'm excited about the Fox thing. Just because it'll be different at least. Maybe. It's at least a mix-up. It's now on Tuesdays.
Right.
Maybe they will change it. Even just slightly, I'll take it. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm keeping hope alive, I guess. Supposedly Raw is going to stay on USA Network, which I was like, well, same old, whatever.
Figured that.
Yeah, of course they are. They made that mistake once of going to Spike TV.
I was going to say, yeah.
USA Network said, hey, just kidding, here's some more money.
Lasted, no, not long at all. Well, Dwight.
Then a pay-per-view thing happened, and I'm just angry and annoyed because I have a life and I'm not watching 4-hour pay-per-view.
Next week, we'll probably have finals predictions, NBA, NHL finals predictions as well. Maybe Dwight will be less annoyed with the WWE. Maybe he'll be more annoyed.
I swear we say that like every other week. I really try.
Psycho Sid 2 weeks ago, Nation of Domination last week. I'm excited to see what it is this week.
And I would have been happy. Yo, if it was just a network thing, I'd be like, cool, good for them. That's what's up, whatever. And then they hit me with the pay-per-view thing at the same time, and I was like, well, WWE for you. They always say, here, have this, but, here's an uppercut, though.
Des Bryant might have a new home by then. Maybe plenty to get talking to. Till then, Dwight, take some deep breaths.